Let's shut our eyes for a minute and just picture that you're a Jewish princess. Okay? Now, a Jewish princess has a bad connotation. That means a spoiled brat who only demands a bumblebee, a queen bumblebee that only takes, and everything is for them. But if we think in terms of a Jewish princess, you're a princess. How does a princess act? How does a queen act? Well, you have power, you have authority, you push people away. What special quality would we say that the princess or the queen has? And we'll answer the word nobility. Now, let's we think about nobility. All of a sudden you sit up in Australia. Make me you're a noble person. You come from Sorif Karacha Valaya. You have a pedigree type of who you are. Now, can you do everything like everybody else does? Can the princess play the same way as the commoners play? So American storybooks and movies will tell you, of course, and the storybook is about, or the movie about, that the princess now decides to get rid of her being a princess and be a regular human being like anybody else that's playing in the world. But in reality, before we get to that American scene, let's picture again. The princess has dignity, has stature, has nobility. So how does stature and nobility act? Everything they want to do? What do they think? Do they think of that themselves? Does a noble person think about their selfish, self-centered ideas, what I want to eat, what I want to do? How does nobility act? What does nobility do? How does a noble person act? Or a princess act? He thinks of others, how others look at him, others, how to do things for others, how to do things in the right way, the proper way. No rush. The whole world is all the time. She's a princess. All the time. People have to wait on her all the time and space. And she does it in dignity and in form. She has to look just right and do the things just right, in the proper way, giving dignity and nobility to herself and her position. Another thing we have a course 301, how to be noble, how to have dignity, how to be a Tzelem Elokim, how to be an image of God. That's a very hard job. How do we act? How should you act as a Tzelem Elokim? Or even more so, how should you act as a Jewish Tzelem Elokim, which is more obligation? Or post Abraham, like a Sari Menu, which is supposed to be our role model. But Sari Menu is only pre-Sinai. What about post-Sinai? How are we supposed to act? How are we supposed to feel? What's supposed to do? So I want to explain this a little bit. How do you act as a Jewish sister, as a Jewish woman, a religious woman? Does a religious woman act the same way as a non-religious woman? Or there's certain things she does different, she feels different, she acts different. I just know my mother, I tell the story many times. My mother was giving birth. There's a small little place called Olean. A little place. It was famous in the Civil War. And my father was away. They had these like small little, not really hospitals, they had these like miskab ladach type of ancient, before they built the new building, type of situations where you had a midwife and maybe a doctor and some old instrument. Maybe the doctor had instead of a regular man, he had a piece of wood they would listen to instead of maybe these modern things. The mother's giving birth to my oldest brother. And she has terrible pain, but she wouldn't scream. Because she said, I'll give the goyim the benefit of that, a Jewish religious woman screams. No way. No way. Well, she she was able to hold in her suffering and her pain, but she wanted to have that dignity, that Jewish dignity of I'm somebody, I'm special. And how does a special person act? Like a commoner? Like the street people? Or there's something special way we know the story of the princess goes into a house to sleep, and she's a princess, and they have 10 mattresses, has one little pea, and she can't sleep all night long because the pea bothers her. There's something special about the princess's soul, a certain sensitivity. And that we call our neshama yasera, our special neshama that we have. Now, if we act with dignity, we can feel the inner being of ourselves, so then we have gained a lot. But if we are just another animal, instead of a monkey, we turn into a human being with animalistic things. Animals also have children, eat and sleep, and they have fights with each other and barking, who knows what they're doing, fighting, all kinds of things that animals do. So now instead of animals, 2 human beings, 3 human beings. Are we acting like a Jewish princess dignified with the Tzelem Elokim? So I want to extend this concept a little more. I want to extend it. Avinu, how does he look at himself as a Tzelem Elokim? Most people, when they look at themselves, there's always the I. What's good for me? I. When you do anything, you always ask is, what's in it for me? What do I get out of it? What do I gain from it? What's good for my family, good for the Jewish people? It's always angling. That's how normal people are. Let's say you were born in a family where you're a prince or a king. And you've got this wonderful gift. The I got this wonderful gift called the Tzelem Elokim. God gave you this beautiful, special body called the image of God. Here's the I, that's you, and then that's the spirit Shiur of the mind, and you have this beautiful gift of an image of God. And you say, well, how am I going to take care of this gift? What am I going to do about it? I got to clean it, I got to make sure it's nice, it has to be dignified, because it's a gift, a gift from God, a special gift. I'll take care of it. I have to cherish it. It's become holy and pure. Now God gave us a brain. The animals also think, but the human brain is different. The human brain can ask questions. The human brain can separate his feelings, his emotions, himself from thinking about a problem, mathematical problem. I say, now how are we going to help that person here? That person has a big ego, has anger, stingy, not nice, nasty, all the, whatever you want to say. So, be able to talk about that person. That person, not me, the other person. But in a certain sense, when you talk about the other person, what can be? You really be able to have yourself, and that other person is that Tzelem Elokim, that image of God. So we're able to disjoint, be abstract, to separate ourselves from ourselves, the I, from this image and this God. We think we can talk about it as the other person without having our own ego and our own interest and our own bigotry and our own ideas about it. Now, we'll extend it further. Let's go a little further. Now we have Hillel. We have 2 cases of Hillel. Hillel leaves the yeshiva early. Hillel the Zoke. The Talmud, where are you going, Rabbi? So we're leaving the learning. I have a oreach, I have a visitor today. Must be a very important visitor. So you see, Hillel goes into the marketplace and buys special food. And they go and they peek, wonder who's the visitor. They see he cooks it or fixes it up in a way, puts it on the table, wonder who's the visitor. They have a problem. You only see one plate, one fork and spoon, one cup. They see him eating himself. So yes. And the next day they asked Rabbi, Rabbeinu, who was the visitor? She said, well, I got my neshama. My neshama was given to me. I got to take care of my neshama. Because it says, Ushmartim o nafshech, you have to take care of your soul. You have to take care of your soul. As if they're too much. So we have the ability to separate. So there's a way of doing chesed to yourself that's not selfish, self-centered, egotistical, but in a way that you're taking care of an image of God. That's only if you're like, I'm really able to separate the two. And your I is not in it, but this is a creation of God. Not I am a creation of God. I have to take care of this creation, this gift that God gave me, which is myself, or my children, or my husband. I have to give it, it has to be in a noble, dignified way. You have a child and you want to look so pretty, a little girl, so you buy special clothing that looks nice and does it. And she's able to look pretty and nice. But you may say that's projecting yourself. But look, such a beautiful child. How can she go like that? How can she go like that? I myself can be a slob, I can dress like that. But how can my little daughter, so beautiful, so sweet, so innocent, so holy, dress her up nicely, make her feel good. To be able to separate and give the dignity to the children. I was in America, in Fifth Avenue, I went by the store, I saw children's clothing, I couldn't believe the prices. $1,300, $800, $2,000. I mean, you wouldn't believe the hand knitted and this, and people buy it. Doesn't stop when they only have one child. Or a child and a half. And what are they going to do with their money there? And they only have one child, might as well give the child dignity, nobility, give it the things that they want to give it. Understand? But in the abstract, though, knowing the value and the importance of it. Big man in the business, man. I was one in the middle of his big business deal. His wife calls up about the baby right away. Excuse me. Off he goes. Cadillac limousine. Got to see this baby, what's happening, Why? Because they know the value. But when it comes to ourselves, we cheapen ourselves. We have the I. What do you mean the I? You should think about the image of God. That you have to take care of the image of God, the dignity, nobility, who you are and what you are. Now getting back to the story a little bit. How can you act in a dignified? How can you help your body and your soul to act in a dignified, spiritual, holy way? How can you change? Now, I want to explain a little more. Okay? There's a second story of Hillel. The Hillel, they asked him, what are you doing? I'm going to the big mitzvah. What's the big mitzvah? So you see him going into the Roman or Greek bathhouse. I said, Rabbi, what are you doing? He said, listen, these statues, every day we see the workers get out of the army and they clean the statues of the god and the goddess. That's only a made out of stone. So I don't create the image of God. How much more so? I have to clean myself. Now, so when he looked at himself, took himself as an image of God, with dignity. How do you view yourself? As a shmata, as an animal, with eyes, and you have a body that wiggles, and it's taiva and lust in yourself? How do you look at yourself? As an image of God, dignity of the individual itself. Do you give yourself dignity? Dignity is not gaiva. Dignity is like, you know who I am? You know my mother and my father, and my pedigree. That's not what it's talking. Dignity means, are you acting in a noble way, in a tzelem elokim way, in a Jewish way? Are you doing it in an unselfish, dignified, noble, holy way? And you have the I in oneself, and your body and your soul in the other. I don't say that, or the split personalities here, schizophrenia. I mean to say conceptually. So now when Avinu, when he did his mitzvahs, he was really thinking, the Tayag mitzvah, since he's a Baal Chesed. What does Chesed mean? Chesed means give. Exert yourself. Give. Money is tzedakah, time and energy is chesed. Give good energy. This is being. He forgets about himself and he helps others. Now, the same thing means forgets about the I, and now he wants to help this Tzalem. He has his obligation to take care of him and to give dignity and act in a proper way. Now, when Avraham Avinu stands up against Nimrod, he says, listen, there's a God in the world, and you're not God, I can't bow down to you. What took place there? Is it just announcing that he is a truthful person, that he believes in truth and he stands up for truth? Or is something else though? Let's talk about chesed. Chesed is giving of yourself, your time and energy. So you always think for others. Here we have a chiddush. If you look at yourself as another, then it's going to feel yourself for yourself, it's then yourself. And where's the lishma? It's yourself. But yourself is really one part, and this other part is this image of God. You have to take care of it. So it becomes a little less selfish, but selfless. And now, you have a child, and you tell your oldest son and your oldest daughter, do chesed and teach your brother the homework. Sits down and teaches him the homework. Help your brother, your sister, feed him. Okay, that's chesed. Right? So now, you're helping others. You're helping either physically feeding or spiritually to help out. Now, how much is absorbed, how much they eat is a different story, but your job is to give and to give of yourself. Give. Time, energy, strength. Let's give. And not yourself, but to others, so to speak. Now, let's say Avraham Avinu stood up about to Nimrod. He said, listen, this is a decayed society. They have wrong values. They make stone or AIDS as a father, and they believe these things of God. They're just got wrong values. I have to do chesed and tell them that they're wrong. I have to make a statement that maybe something will penetrate them to help them out. I know the truth. Why do I have to tell them the truth? Why do I have to share with them? I believe in God. These are idols. Let me go into the forest. I don't have to bother with anybody. I have to go and tell Nimrod the truth. I get into trouble. What if I know the truth? I can't either. Why do I have to tell him? Because I want to prove my point. What are you going to get killed? Why prove your point? But if I want to do chesed to help out and bring that this concept should be in the world, known in the world, to help others and make a statement, maybe someone will penetrate. Someday someone will know about it, that somebody stood up in history and said it's wrong to help the people get the right idea. They'll do chesed for their neshamas. So it's an act of giving, even though he's giving his soul and his being. But I'm giving. It's a chesed. It's a kindness. It's giving. It's caring for others. Not just truth. And I make a statement. I stand up for my ideas. I got to tell the truth. I got to tell the person that he's doing wrong. The mitzvah to tell him wrong. No. I want to help him. I want to share with him. I want him to be better. I want to do chesed. Just you feed a baby who doesn't want to eat. So you want to help somebody. You want to help somebody spiritually get better. Question: how much do you have to give? You give your life. Don't give your life. That's a different problem. Because the B'nai Noach doesn't have to give his life. But okay, it's a problem. But anyway, so you can see all the acts of Amir was chesed. And even when he did the 613 mitzvahs, it was also like chesed. Here, he got this wonderful, noble gift from the Almighty, called his neshama and a body, and he has to act in a pure, dignified way to bring out the potential of what this gift was given. Otherwise, I'm embarrassing God for the gift that he gave me. And I have to develop its potential to the most, otherwise it's not right. And he decided that the way that the body should function, the best way, and the only way, is doing the 613 mitzvahs. So the 600 mitzvahs is like doing the proper thing for what God created, to appreciate what God gave, which is this body and this soul, and in order that to help it to do the most it can and be it the most spiritual way and get the function in the most proper, best way it can be, in a noble, dignified way, which is mitzvahs, which is kindness and goodness in its quantitative measurements of what should be. And that's our role. And that's sorry me. That's our teaching over. And this is what it's all about. So the question is, in ourselves, how can we become more dignified? It doesn't mean now I'm going to be a snob, look nicer. That's not the story. How can I now appreciate this gift that God gave me, this Tzelem Elokim that God made, and act in a dignified, noble way, to appreciate God's way and do His will in a proper way? That's the problem. And that's what religion is about. That we can tell the difference between the nobility of a person. That's why when you do an Avera, what does it mean? You stoop lower than an animal. God gave you all these gifts to the human being, which is seichel, to be able to separate things and abstract things and look at things in a proper light. And when you don't do that, you become lower, because an animal could do better. You could do better. See, like you, mavaza, you disgrace God's gift. And you're back lower than an animal. So how can you do things in a dignified way? Forget about your neighbor doing things in a dignified way. Or your children. Talk about yourself. In a noble, dignified, Tzelem Elokim way, a Jewish way. The Torah way. Torah. And that's why in Torah, it's not just the laws, it's midos Torahs. How do you do a thing? What mode? What feeling? How is it done? With concern, with dikdukin, with energy, with excitement, with vibrancy. How do you do it? Do you do it in a noble way? Or you just push it off? Just passing the time, and how did that happen? So in your house, your food, your children, you manage your religion. Anyway, I just wanted to share that idea with you. Any questions?
Epitome in history when you got him stood up in society again.
He didn't have to stand up in society. He did more than that. You're not looking for a hero. He's a hero, yay. He's standing, fighting for beliefs and ideas. He's a person who has deep understanding, and he wants to kindness to share this and help to change and make a better world and bring God into the world, and to see the value, not that people are animals and worse than animals, they're worshiping sticks and stones as gods, but the whole value of the human being, to have the emotions of and the state of being of nobility. Because nobility, and someone gives emotions and feelings, you just can't have nobility and say, oh, I'm a noble now. I'm now a princess. Princess has values, sensitivities, feel the pee, feel other people's things. How do you do things? What do you do right? It's a princess. A Jewish princess. But not in the bad sense of giving me, but in the dignity and the nobility of how you act. The fineness, fine kind. I had a woman, she married, her mother wanted her always to marry a religious man. She got older, she couldn't find her, she lived in down south, she couldn't find a religious guy. So she married this nice guy, nice Jewish guy, who, not too religious. They opened doors, so I went there to visit, because they opened the doors and they keep kosher. But he was not a learned man. He's an eye doctor, something like that. He treats her nicely. She married at an older age, and she used to say, my mother said, my mom goes, my mother said, Feinkeit is Yiddishkeit. She tried to prove to me 20 times after Shabbos that although her husband's not really religious and she wanted to marry this guy, but niceness is also religion. Feinkeit is, and Gutzkeit is Yiddishkeit. In other words, niceness and goodness is Judaism, and she's right. But that doesn't mean you can't be religious. But she had to convince herself. You were there to tell it over again and over again. And okay, but it is true. Dignity of a person, you find the fineness, the goodness, and that's the difference of nobility of the Jewish person. Yeah.
In times of
stress in the house with the kids, let's say it's their Shabbos, they're fighting, they're running late.
Yeah.
And then we think back on Rebbe Shiur, dignity, and really you just want to scream, and shout, and hit, and how do we act in a noble way? And really we just want to...
But you have to, it's called, you have to get your children into your story. You have to bring them into your story. You line your kids up. He says, I'm going to tell you, you're wonderful children, you're Jewish children. You have to act in a special way because you're my children. And you have to act in a Jewish way, in a Torah way, in a Midos Torah's way. It's Erev Shabbos. I expect from you a lot. You're giving them the build-up of nobility, of kavod adam. You know what I mean? And talk to them. And well, he took my... How is a Jewish person? What mitzvah are you doing? Is it a mitzvah to take away from your brother? Where's my... What mitzvah is it? What kind deed can we do? What chesed we can do? You find out that maybe you don't have to shaman. You give the kids duties to do. And duties, not just give them points, but give them dignity, value, worth, whatever they do. Maybe you'd be surprised. Because with nobility and value comes emotions. That what is the Musa movement? How can you, not to say don't do that, it's bad, how can you, such an intelligent woman, so smart and beautiful, and such sneeze woman, how can you do this low bass acting? Say, yeah, that's why I'm such a good person, how can I do that? And then you're stuck into a box of mobility, of intelligence, that you can't say you're not intelligent, because you know what unintelligent people do, and you're an intelligent person, so how can you do an unintelligent, not a nice thing, and you're a nice person. So you have a problem to get out of that box. When you have nobility and dignity of a Jew and mitzvah and human relation, so it already stops you from acting in a certain way. It gives you a certain difference. It gives you the fineness, the sweetness, the good. Let me hear you consider, look, I know you have Yeshiva. Let me hear the good part about you, the Yeshiva, the dignity. I know you're such a sweet girl, so sweet girl. And you have such wisdom, and you're such a kind person. And in schooling, you always get good marks. Tell them 5 things. Now, let's see how we're going to do it now. Erev Shabbos, and Hashem is watching, and they get pointed. And now the Yetzer wants us to do the bad thing. We're not going to let the Yetzer have the patience and the nerves for that. Okay, anyway, I got to teach a class by the boys. Yes.
How about rather making it take make it take for the kids? And we can play
I have to really get back.
Afternoon.
And let's listen.
You could give them all these wonderful things.
Okay, let's listen to the tape. But what if some parents, they put on the tape, whatever they have, the story time for the kids. But anyway,
in terms of motivation, like sometimes, when you do a chesed, like you say, I have a body that Hashem gave me and a neshama to take care of, and I want to do a chesed for someone else who also has like their neshama and their to take care of. So even looking that way, sometimes, so in that vein, it's hard for them, and if I do, it'll be hard for me.
Why?
Because just like, why do I want to do a chesed for someone? Because they're in a difficult situation, and I want to help them, right?
Yeah, but here,
so that's the same thing. Don't I then put myself in that situation?
But there's no self there. You want to help this body.
But if I do that, it's going to be hard for me.
Well, why is it hard for you? Where are you?
Well, why do I want to help them?
Because you're the Baal Chesed.
So why?
Because you got to help this body, because God gave that body to you as a gift, and you have responsibilities. You must know.
No, but you know what I'm saying? If there's a difficulty, sometimes when you want to you really want to help somebody. Like, let's say you want to babysit for someone's kids. So you want to help them out, and then you wind up with the kids in a difficulty, and you know what I mean? That tension that you want to spare them, you put yourself into. So
now let's talk about that situation. Okay. Now, you put yourself that you wanted to help them. Meanwhile, you're hurting yourself. But you feel you're hurting yourself, or you become. So then you miss the idea of what chesed is about. Chesed is that you're ready to give of yourself, of your time, to do what you're supposed to be doing, and do it in the proper way. Now, once you feel that, and that gives you a lot of pleasure doing the right thing, and all those pains will disappear. Now, but there are a certain point where you cannot do it. emotion, so you can't do it. So it doesn't mean that because chesed comes, you have to do chesed. If you can't do it, so you can't do it. But that doesn't mean in another case you won't do it. There's certain things you're allowed to do, certain things you're not allowed to do.
But let's say in that case, where if you take on the difficulty, so it becomes your difficulty.
No, that's nothing wrong with you. It becomes your difficult. Your different if that difficulty you cannot handle, then you don't do it. But you're not because to take on a person's difficulty. See, take on a people. So what's wrong? That's wonderful. They're doing
know
chesed.
what you can handle, what you can't.
What you can handle.
And also the motivation is that if you are going to be, then you're imitating Hashem's ways, you're helping out. I mean, you have to add something.
That's you just answered. You just answered. You have to.
You have to add something, not just transfer the difficulty from one person to yourself.
No, you're transferring it though. You're helping him. It's not you. You're helping him.
Yeah, but lots of times
When you help him,
it's
not your child. Remember, it's not your child. It's his child.
So therefore, it's easier for.
As you're not you're not as emotionally involved. It's not me. It's his children. I'm helping out his children. There's a certain point where the parent and the stranger who helps out, they split. The mother does one thing, and a babysitter or a relative will do something else. In the same story. Okay, girls.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please.
I once heard the disciple Rabbi gave an eitzah difficult, meaning makot of hospital. We shouldn't get any, but difficult things come to us is by doing chesed for others when it's hard, because then it's almost like that's the hard thing that is coming on you, and then you're doing it in a
but you don't have what degree. You can't take a hard thing you can't produce.
Right.
You take a hard thing that's a little difficult, bitter, tough. You give up your time, your energy. But if you can't do it, you can't do it. There's no such thing as you do something you can't do. But you can definitely stretch yourself to extend yourself to do things in a way that will cause a little pain and aggravation at times, but at the end you'll see the great reward of what you've done. But if it reaches a point where your life is first, yourself is first, but not first in the sense of not helping. And always I'm first, so therefore, it means you have to exert. Chesed by definition means exerting yourself. Tzedakah by definition means giving up your money which you can buy something for. And being selfish. Okay. You are.
Sorry,